Welcome back to You Matter. I'm the host, Stephanie Dupre. I'm here today with Dr. Brooke, who's the owner of the Harmonic Egg here in Modesto. And I also want to mention that in Modesto, we have started a new chapter for the Holistic Chamber of Commerce, which you can check us out on the third Wednesday of the month from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., located at 1733 Yosemite Avenue, Suite 1. Brooke and I are both on the board and welcome alternative therapies, as supporters of the alternative therapy businesses. Join us if you are a holistic practitioner or simply curious about holistic options for wellness and healing. We're a welcoming, inclusive, and fun group. And we're going to take a short break, and when we come right back, Brooke will be detailing the information about the Harmonic Egg.
Every journey begins with a single step. Are you ready to take yours? Here at Modesto Junior College, we can help you begin. The college offers a variety of programs and opportunities, including financial aid. MJC students can transfer to four-year colleges after graduating. Our instructors will prepare you for a successful future in the field of your choice. If you want a quality, affordable education with unlimited horizons, make Modesto Junior College your first step.
Welcome back to You Matter. Brooke, tell us a little bit about the egg, how you got started, what it does, and tell us how the technology combines photosimulation, music, and vibe sense perception for optimal healing. Tell us about the egg.
Okay. As you said, the technology is a combination of light, sound, and energy therapies. So there's a vibration hertz energy that's also been proven to help. So all three of them are combined to help the genes fight disease and release trauma. So once this happens, the rest can be done by the body. Simply, we trigger the body mechanism to do what the job of fighting disease or trauma is supposed to do on its own. We're not damaging the structure of the body with the sessions. There's nobody doing anything directly to you. We are influencing the body to do what is innately born to do. So if you wanted to see testimonials or longer descriptions about that, of course, it can be found online at allaboutmeonline.org in the Q&A or the testimonials. My family and I, and why we got to the egg, we were catapulted into the life of cancer in June 2018 when our lives changed forever. As many know, the word cancer alone is not to be joked about or taken lightly. The staggering amounts of unhealthy adults and children in the U.S. is also frightening. So in our own journey to strength, healing, and remission, we found solace in many helpful therapies, modalities, and supplements that supported us, and of course much more. This lit the fire to help others, as well as in our search to finally get to remission. We were intrigued with energy therapy and energy work and the healing qualities of balancing one's own body. We researched, read books, experienced it ourselves, and ultimately the Harmonic Egg, invented by Gail Lynn in Westminster, Colorado, became what we wanted to utilize to help us, help others, and to help us the most. The Harmonic Egg envelops the use of vibration, light, and sound therapy for a broad spectrum of medical issues and concerns, from little to big. So from not being able to sleep well, all the way to autism, cancer, healing after surgeries. Of course, there's a list online as well at allaboutmeonline.org. We also are big backers of Silver 500, the good kind of silver, that helps everything under the sun, which is why I call it liquid gold. It helps our health and our pets' health. And pets are also welcome into the egg, so they're enveloped in all of this healing as well. As an educator, though, with a PhD in educational psychology and a master's degree in counseling, psych, and sociology, I value learning, investigating, and finding the best of the best when I need to. The first time I saw the Harmonic Egg, I knew I had to have it. It was like a calling when I saw it on my computer screen, and I was drawn to it, not only for my son's healing, but in help with to help others with healing. So for his own lymphoma, for my own healing of hypothyroid, Hashimoto's disease, and inflammatory issues that I had myself, that was the draw to it for us and for others, and also for the modern edge technology, as it's basically the new edge of science and healing right now. I love the Harmonic Egg myself. I wish I could sleep in it every night, but I can't. And I wish that I could get everyone to it. I hope everyone can find options to heal like we did. And I hope that we can help others as well, as we all really need it in the world today. All About Me and Wellness Center is home of the Central Valley's only harmonic egg. There's only 19 right now in the world, actually. It's going to go international next year, but we have lucky number 13. And you can find, obviously, us, make appointments, get more information and testimonials at allaboutmeonline.org. And our phone number as well is 209-595-0109. My background in coming to the egg and what brought me here today is psychology, first and foremost. That was my first career life. I switched to teaching 7 years ago, and I truly enjoyed being able to teach others, as well as using my background to help young students and their families in various ways, of course. 2.5 years ago, my son was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma with bulky B at stage 3. My family, entire family, hadn't been touched by cancer since I was in 8th grade, and even then it wasn't really spoken of, so it didn't touch me as others might have been touched when they were younger with cancer and people around them. It was a step-grandfather of mine that was married into the family, and I wasn't super close with him, so it was very distant from me. Fast forwarding that, though, through my 20s, where I used things like green chlorophyll to avoid antibiotics and strep throat, but still didn't delve all the way into the holistic care, nor did I kind of research as much as obviously I have now. I was attending college, working full-time, and very busy. So then you fast forward again 20 years and hearing that 3 people in my husband's family had cancer within 3 days of each other, and then 2 days later my son had cancer. Oh. So needless to say, I began studying and researching every single option as to why, where, and how, etc. I frantically read and bought everything I could to ensure that my son was going to get through this. From books to supplements, from therapeutic in-home therapies to drastic diet changes and juicing. When our battle with conventional chemo and radiation came to a screeching halt by his choice, my choice, and my family's choice, we began to treat my son with even more of a holistic approach, like IV therapies and naturopathic doctors and oxygen therapy, as well as detoxing to get the toxic chemo out of his body.
When you had the IV therapies and the oxygen therapies, because I've had IV therapies and chelation and all of that, did you see a significant improvement, or what was your experience
with Aiden?
With the IV therapies? Did it help?
It did, because it was detoxing. So it was helping to remove the junk that the chemo had left behind. So it was basically just another tool to get a lot of the toxins out of him. Yeah. And some of the IV was like vitamin C therapy also. So it was actually battling the cancer cells as well.
Yeah, I did vitamin C drips, and I did chelation to pull the metals out.
And when I took him to the out of the country to get the holistic therapy program done, I had them add the poly MVA IVs also, because that is a staple of what Germany does to treat cancer. And Germany actually pays for their residents. They pay for their medical, so they want you to get better faster. So they're always like the cutting edge of cancer care. And so their top 5 things, poly MVA is one of them, and it's basically mistletoe. So that was one of the IVs I added to his care.
Nice.
Obviously to attack the cancer faster.
So it did help. All that, combined alternative methods were working with the Western medical as well, and everything combined was helping to promote his health.
Well, we ditched the Western therapy immediately, but
okay. Well, no, that's good to know, because
that's why I said a screeching halt.
The alternative treatments, people are not always aware of just how powerful the alternative therapies work. They may not be aware of vitamin C IV treatments. I've had vitamin C IV treatments. I've had chelation. I've had intravenous vitamin drips to try to put the minerals back in.
Yeah, he had that too.
But people who don't even have cancer and have like a gluten allergy suffer from malnutrition, because the body's not absorbing the nutrients. And so getting these nutrients and these things into the body in a water-soluble way is vitamins and water-soluble based ways.
And plant-based.
And plant-based are very important, because the less chemical solutions and things, the body can break it down faster. It has better absorption and things like that.
The less man-made, where it's been touched with something else. For sure.
Okay, well, tell us some more about in your search to get your son better. What else happened?
Okay.
Thank you.
In my search to get my son the best team of doctors possible, I begrudgingly overlooked his personal mental health, as far as he kept telling me he was fine and that he had nothing to talk about, even though with my background I knew there needed to be some kind of open door there. So I tried to sign him up for a teen support group, and he wouldn't attend it. Even online, he wouldn't attend it. Months after receiving holistic therapies like acupuncture, oxygen, excuse me, infrared sauna, red lamps, and care from a great alternative cancer clinic, he had improved, but was still not improving as much as he should have been. Many people were asking, what was it that he was holding on to, or what had happened in his past, or what was he not letting go of? And I was perplexed myself, as he had enjoyed many great things throughout his life. Had never even been spanked, of course, and had both parents, and was, had a great step parent, was very active, all of us very active in his life. But I knew with my background that I needed him to get to a place where he could open the door to energy therapy, because I felt like that was the last element that wasn't being sought after, I guess. I knew he needed this last element to be able to see what he didn't want to see, I guess, maybe, or to let go of what he didn't want, hadn't even realized he was holding on to. So he danced around it a little bit longer, but agreed to family counseling. And at the first session, by his choice, it became his own session. He asked me to go ahead and go in the other room, and that was perfectly fine. So over the course of a few months, we visited an energy clearing coach, a shaman, all of which he chose not to go back to or to end the sessions with, and then finally sessions in the Harmonic Egg. So to go back a little, I found myself frustrated one day in the fact that there were such limited holistic care providers in our area, and that energy therapy was down to literally just a few options in this area, which we tried most of. He and I felt like none of them were the right match for him. Of course, late teens, he had a lot of opinions about all of them. He has a hard time with people who curse and people who make his sessions kind of like about them instead of him, as well as people who seem too weird. So I continued looking. I signed him up for Kundalini Yoga, as per his doctor as well. But because we don't have anyone in this area, I had to ask him to do it online. So that wasn't very successful either. Then one day, as I searched for more options, I found it. It was like a beacon in the night, basically. The Harmonic Egg was right in front of my face on my computer screen. I immediately wrote to the inventor and got on the waiting list for the year. There was one spot left for the next year, and I took it, October of last year. It was literally like a calling. That's the best way to describe how I felt when I saw the picture of the egg. I completed sessions myself at another Harmonic Egg a few hours away to get my son started immediately. He also did sessions at the same time, and then we obviously got our egg a few months later, so we were able to do our own with my egg. So now I have the Harmonic Egg, and I've had it for almost a year, and of course I love it, as I mentioned earlier. I had a ton of inflammation myself in my knees from accidents. I have back issues, a slip disc. I've had all kinds of neck injuries from past accidents, and I have had driving anxiety that was starting to debilitate my ability to even want to go drive. So that my world itself also slowed down around me from the egg sessions and allowed me things to be more digestible and to come at me at a slower pace, even though obviously nothing had changed. In addition, the greatest part was no more hot flashes, my and mood swings, right? My hormones ended up getting balanced. So the best part is that recently we just found out that my son could possibly be cancer-free now. And we will get complete confirmation in a few weeks, but that's obviously been the best part of this entire thing. Wow. And so, of course, I love all of the stories of everybody coming out of the egg and the stories they've told me too, and the things that have happened already in our first year of being open. But the Harmonic Egg and Resonance Healing, the chamber, combining light, sound, and vibration or hertz therapy, is all designed around to the dodecahedron of the shape of the egg and the Tesla model of the 369. tapping into the power of bioenergy for wellness. The Harmonic Egg uses sacred geometry, light, color, and sound, as I said, frequencies to empower the body and its own healing. By amplifying energy resonance within the chamber, the client receives an energy therapy that is precisely controlled, consistent, and repeatable. Like I said earlier, it's not a person doing something to you. Our mission is to build a community of caring business owners who offer the Harmonic Egg to improve the lives of their clients. We offer ongoing support and advice to healers who employ this technology as alternative or complement to conventional medicine. Bioresonance and sacred geometry working together, the Harmonic Egg combines the science of bioresonance with the ancient wisdom of sacred geometry. Excuse me. This integrative and energy therapy utilizes light, color, sound, frequency, and vibration to activate the body's natural ability to balance and restore itself.
So, when you're in the egg, and there's different programs that you can assign to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody comes in and they have a sprained ankle, or they've got problems sleeping. And so depending on their ailment or whatever their problem is, you want to go into some of the ways that you can determine which program they would be given or which program you would think that they would need, or is it one size fits all, or what is it?
No, so I was trained for 2 days by the inventor, by Gail Lynn, from Colorado when they came to put the egg together. So it takes 2 days to actually assemble the egg. So I was trained for those 2 days fully on how to know what to do for people when they do come in, what track you needed to choose and what the colors meant. So there's 2 different colors within the egg. There's one above you and there's one below you, as you know, of course. And so you can do all of one color depending on what's going on with the person, if it's really complex, if it's a high diagnosis, if it's just too much, if it's like an autistic kiddo and 2 lights are just too much. For them to start, you can do one solid color of healing or one solid color of spiritual color, right? So it depends on who it is, age-wise. It depends on what they've come for. There's a 15-minute consult for all new clients. So they sit with me for 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, however long it takes, to talk about why they're there, what their intention of the sessions are.
Right.
And then from there, I prioritize their list. I take notes and it goes in their file. And then I go from there. So typically, the first couple of sessions are always going to be resetting your autonomic system anyways, your central nervous system. And so everybody gets very calming lights, calming tracks when they first come, because we're trying to get your central nervous system aligned first. And then I start to detail into your priority areas. So whether it's pain, or it's ADD, or it's cancer, or it's a different diagnosis you may have, or it's just anxiety, stress, not being able to sleep at night, then yes, they get different tracks of music.
So because everybody's had so much stress from either being in their house from COVID or being depressed from being in their house from COVID, or just COVID 2020, I don't know, just anything to do with that. It resets the auto nervous system back to its natural homeostasis point, which is the sound resonance. We talk about heart math and getting in the meditation and bringing yourself back into heart resonance. I talk about it every week, lowering those cortisol levels. The egg will do that for you. That is what you're describing. It's taking that body back into that homeostasis point of resonance so that you're vibrating with the earth of 7.83 hertz. And when you get into heart resonance with everything and all that is, you're in that space of peace and joy and bliss. I actually got in the egg this last week, and it was a very good experience. It was very peaceful. It was very calm. The music is very nice. The sound is very nice. You come out of it, and you're just in a place of pure peace. And I don't think a lot of people have had the opportunity, maybe even in their entire lives, to experience that level of peace, unless you're a rabid meditator. I mean, if you meditate a lot, you probably have experienced this. Yeah. But most people out there, the general public, have never experienced that level of calm and peace.
The egg actually goes to 1,000 hertz on some of the tracks, depending on which track it is. So,
see?
Yeah.
And we talked about the hertz with Michelle Strange. She's also on the board. She's our senior VP of the Chamber of Commerce, and Tachyon Crystal Healer. And she was talking about the Bovis chart, and the 1,000 hertz is a pretty major number to boost your frequency, right? We talk about raising your vibration, raising your frequency at this time.
One of the other beautiful things about the egg that I really like is, because of my background in psychology, somebody has to be ready for change when they come to you in counseling. And if they're not ready, it's a little difficult getting them to see a path if they're not ready to see the path. The egg is similar in my mind to that a little bit, because if you're not open to the holistic world, you can't make somebody come to the egg, right? So if you're open to it, yes, you're immediately going to know exactly what it can do for you, and it does even more for you the more open you are and the more accepting you are, and how you put your intentions out there. But one of the most beautiful things is that while you're in the egg, you can actually be sleeping. You don't even have to be awake for the light therapy to work, to go into your skin. It goes in your body where it needs it and will move. And then the toxins being moved by the hertz and the vibrations. You drink a lot of water before and afterwards, and it helps flush all of that out. And your subconscious actually lets go of things like post-traumatic times in your life, or things that you don't want to talk about, because it knows that you don't want to hold on to those, and they are traumatic to your body, or they're blocking you from being able to heal. It actually allows your subconscious to kind of like let those things go, and you don't even have to actually be conscious of it, which is, I think, one of the most beautiful things about the egg.
So somebody who has PTSD, who's been in a vet, or who's been in a very traumatic situation, could obviously benefit from being in the egg, because, like you said, if they're in there and their body knows that this is not harmoniously where the body should be, it can release it in the egg. And then, we talk about the auric field being 6 feet out above you. What it's doing is, as you clear that field with the harmonic resonance of the egg, as you're clearing that field, what you're doing is you're giving your body the opportunity to heal that field, so it doesn't manifest in the physical body as a disease or as a pain body problem. So those are things that it's an education for people, because people think, well, I have an ailment, so I need to go to the doctor and take a pill. When you didn't realize that there was probably something in your field that was moving towards the center of your physical body that was going to manifest physically in the body. So by releasing that out through these harmonics and through this frequency healing, similar with Reiki, I use the swords to cut away that stuff so that it doesn't manifest in the body. So these are treatments, these are alternative modalities where you can do something like that, and it's very, very powerful.
And as the toxins move around in your body from going to the egg and you're trying to flush them out, that's part of why the silver 500 is so important, is that allows it. I tell everybody it's like an antiseptic on the outside of your body, and it's like an antibiotic on the inside of your body. So instead of having to take an antibiotic from a doctor, you can actually take silver 500 and it has the same effect.
Right.
That's literally what's happened with me, with my animals, with my children, with everybody that uses it.
Right.
And that's the only reason why I say it that way. Otherwise, I wouldn't typically tell somebody not to take something. I'm not a medical doctor, obviously. And we also sell plant-based electrolytes, which are the only electrolytes that are actually plant-based and made in the U.S. And even the citric acid, I questioned from them and made sure that it wasn't something from out of the country, or it's actually derived from fruit here in the U.S. And so everything is literally plant-based. It's the only one I could find that, and actually all of the centers carry that. So
wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah, I had the electrolytes when I came out of the egg. Yeah, it doesn't taste bad.
No,
They taste pretty good, and they do help to reground you and bring you back. It took about, for my experience, it took me about an hour to reintegrate back into the body after I got out of the egg. So you might not want to get in your car and drive away right away. You might want to plan to kind of hang out and visit and spend some time in the lobby, maybe go sit under a tree in the park, have some lunch, kind of reintegrate before you get back in the car and go back out into the chaos of the world.
And typically it takes about 3 sessions for somebody to kind of have hindsight or to have experiences within the egg to know that there's change or that there's balance going on in their body. Mm-hmm. And most of the time with a diagnosis, it takes at least 7 to 10 sessions. Mm-hmm. But we also have a membership that you can come to the egg once a month and you get specials through that. Yeah, it's the maintenance, but it's also a way of getting specials and deals and stuff that we have as well.
So what are your specials right now?
So right now, instead of $100 a session, the egg sessions are $75. And then we also have a punch card special we just started where I punch the card for you if you've referred somebody or if you're buying Silver 500. And then after 10 punches, you either get to choose a free bottle of Silver 500 or a free session in the egg. So those are the 2 major specials right now.
Yeah, that's a really good deal. So for $75, you can go in and get reharmonized and come out feeling peaceful. Mm-hmm. What would you say to somebody who doesn't have a regular schedule, somebody who might be working like 2 jobs and they work during the day and they also work during the night and they're trying to keep it together? What would you recommend for somebody who's got a very unhealthy sleep pattern and maybe an unhealthy diet? What would you say to someone who needs some assistance with that?
Well, I think other than the obvious that they probably already know themselves that they need to slow down. But also coming to the egg, that was one of the major things that happened for me because I'm always going Mach 20. I have 2 full-time jobs. So I'm always busy. We have a family life. We like to travel. We do all kinds of things. So I am always going in too many directions with my plate full. So I definitely am one of those people that could say the egg has truly helped that for me. The harmonic egg within the first couple of sessions, immediately I felt a peace over everything in my life. And it was almost like my life had slowed down, but it hadn't slowed down at all. And so it was just interesting. It was kind of like it just made everything more digestible as it was coming at me fast. It didn't seem like it was coming at me fast. And so it was easier for me to take piece by piece and manage it piece by piece instead of being overwhelmed and going, oh my gosh, you know, just like when you're to the point of stress or no sleep or
so you actually felt the shift.
Yes, for sure.
You felt the shift in your body's own ability to handle and cope with the stress that you were under.
Yeah.
Even though your life didn't really change that much, you were able to handle it better.
Yeah.
And you were able to focus more. You had less brain fog. You had less night sweats.
I had also gotten...
you weren't dealing with the night driving issues.
Yes, the driving anxiety had gotten really bad to where I was asking people if they wanted to drive, and I was realizing I was consciously not wanting to drive.
Right.
And then I caught myself after 3 sessions of going over to the egg in a different town, a couple of hours away because I wanted to experience it. We knew we were getting an egg, and I knew that I wanted my son immediately in that care. We were driving and I realized I was in the fast lane speeding. I won't say how much I was going, but I realized I was at the one spot in the road that always would trick my eyes and scare me, and I hadn't even caught it yet. I was just talking to him and I was in the middle of it going, oh, all right.
There was a
That's
shift.
Interesting. And so I've had a lot of clients, of course, in the last year that have said the same type of thing where they say, you know, I realized in hindsight, the only thing literally that had changed was going to the egg.
Wow.
So, yeah, you have those moments. After about 3 sessions, you start to go, that's interesting.
So there was just a mental shift in how you approached life. And, you know, from a psychology perspective, that's what we're seeking. Yeah. When you go to talk to a therapist, it's usually because you have something going on that's holding you back. Some blockage that's preventing you from, you know, making a decision in your life that, you know, when you're under a lot of stress, like you're describing, you know, it felt like the world was on you. You had 3 family members that got cancer all in the same week. You didn't know what to do. You start reading books. You start searching online. You know, you're just under all this stress to try to figure something out. A lot of families are trying to figure stuff out right now. They're trying to figure out their finances. They're trying to figure out their health. Trying to figure out their kids' school situation, right? And you're just like, everything's on the mom usually, or one parent to deal with all this stuff. And, you know, you don't always make the best decisions under those conditions.
Right.
You get into a space of, what am I going to do? How do I do it? When can I do it? I've been under some of that. I had my mother passed away this year, but I was her caregiver for the last 3 years and making decisions. And you can be under a lot of stress and not even realize how it's affecting you. May not even realize that you might not always make the best decisions for somebody else. This is somebody else.
Well, and then it becomes out of desperation and fear that you're making decisions, right?
Yes.
So that's another thing I've heard about the harmonic egg is that people have a lot of clarity when they're in there.
Yes.
And they come out feeling like they're ready to kind of like attack whatever it was that was kind of in their way, or if there was blockage and they breathe through it. In a few weeks, I hear back from them and they're thanking me for allowing,
Right.
you know, to be able to get past that.
Right.
So,
So
yeah.
these are important things that you have right here in Modesto, Dr. Brooke. She can help you with your problem. We'll be right back. We're going to go to commercial. Since Einstein and the discovery of quantum physics, it has been known that everything that exists is energy. Energy is all there is. The only difference is that physical matter, such as a table, a chair, or a car, is the seen energy. The unseen energy is sound, light, radio waves, radiation. They vibrate at a different frequency and a different rate. Reiki is used to assist with many ailments. If you're having a surgery, if you need help recovering, if you were diagnosed with chronic pain, fatigue, inflammation, diabetes, arthritis, then we can connect to the angels and the guides using tones, mantras, selenite swords of light. I use the Ankh to work within the physical pain, body, as well as the emotional field. Reiki can also be done in person or done remotely. I'm also a channel medium. I offer readings. If you would like to get involved in mentoring, you can please reach out to me on my website. I'll be forming groups now. If you would like to set up a session or get a reading or have any conversation about any of the pain or the inflammation or issues you're having, please submit a request to my website and reach out to me. Thank you. Welcome back to You Matter. I'm here with Dr. Brooke here in Modesto, the Harmonic Egg. So why don't you tell us a little more about the egg? Tell us about improved physical,
emotional well-being technology.
Yeah.
It is cutting-edge technology. We, of course, sell Gail Lynn's book at our center as well that talks about the unlocking of the ancient secrets of healing. It's natural, non-invasive. Community and support is obviously one of our focuses of it as well. But the Harmonic Egg engages energy therapy and technology to deliver positive, life-changing results, obviously, as you're hearing us talk about it. Because the Harmonic Egg delivers a natural, holistic energy therapy designed to help the body heal itself, many clients have found it to be helpful for a wide variety of health issues. Adults and children have experienced relief from anxiety and difficult emotional issues, injuries and pain, spiritual dissonance, mental and developmental disorders, and illness. Like I said earlier, even pets respond positively to the energy therapy using the Harmonic Egg. And the inventor actually has an egg just for animals, but we also welcome animals at ours. Services at our center and what we sell, the Harmonic Egg sessions, of course. There's a membership, the monthly egg sessions, like we talked about earlier, where you get the newsletter, sales and deals. There's the Harmonic Egg music, computer drives with all of the music on it, and remote Harmonic Egg sessions as well. The Silver 500 we talked about. There's the Ionic Detox foot bath as well, and the book that I mentioned. We have the plant-based Electrolytes, and we have the EMF blocking pyramids as well, things like that around the center, as well as for sale, like the Himalayan salt lamps. We have Tibetan meditation bowls. We have energy clearing candles where you can actually write your intention on the back of the candle and burn the candle to clear energy in the room. Crystals, supplements, crystal necklaces, all kinds of fun stuff. The Ionic foot bath itself, a lot of people ask about, so I wanted to explain that a little bit. It's like an electric pulse through the salt water that gives a positive and negative ions. And the ions in the salt water are actually attracted to the ionic compounds in your body, which are not of benefit to you. So things like pesticides, preservatives, heavy metals, some of these toxins are pulled out of your body through the pores of your feet, which have about 4,000 pores in them. They're the largest in the body. So that makes the most sense, obviously, to do something like a foot bath and to pull it out that way. Yeah. It's the ideal modality, of course, for detoxifying the body. The ions from the foot bath itself, from the system, neutralize oppositely charged toxins in the cells that are normally slow to exit the body. So through that process, all the body's organs become energized and stimulated to function optimally. The idea is that the salt draws out the toxins via osmosis and diffusion, using an electric charge to split the water into ions as a healing modality. Is a relatively new concept. It first emerged as a way to treat cancer by submerging the client's whole body in a detox bathtub. In addition to detoxifying the body, the Ionic foot detox also alkalizes the body. A large majority of people living in the developed world have a high level of acidity built up in the body, which is associated with a range of health ailments, of course. After just a 30-minute session, the Ionic foot bath or detox system helps the body return it to its neutral and comfortable pH of 7.4, as you mentioned earlier. Calcium and magnesium are two of the 4 alkalizing minerals. So it is thought that through this process of the alkalization during the Ionic foot bath, that some of that is then given back to your body as well. The validity of any healing modality can be measured by the experience of the participants. After a 30-minute session using the Ionic foot detox consistently, people report that they have clearer thinking, that there's greater physical and mental energy, improved elasticity in the joints, and an overall feeling of focus and wellness.
At this moment, in Stockton, Sacramento, and San Francisco, a University of the Pacific student has made a decision to learn, live, and lead with purpose in mind. Here, it's all about moments that change lives, families, communities, economies, the world. At University of the Pacific, these moments give life purpose. They give us purpose, too. After all, we share one future. Join us, University of the Pacific.
All right, welcome back to Matter. I'm the host, Deborah Dupre. We're gonna delve into this book, Unlocking the Ancient Secrets to Healing by Gail Lynn. And she talks in here about music being encoded into our DNA. And Music and the Extraordinary Healing Power of Ordinary Things, 14 Natural Steps to Health and Happiness by Dr. Larry Dossey recounts his experience of the work of the late Dr. Simone Oho, one of the world's greatest geneticists. Lifelong lover of music, Dr. Ono decided to investigate the relationship between music and DNA. Taking samples of DNA, which is made up of nucleotides from both humans and other species, he created a musical score by stringing it out and assigning certain musical notes to the nucleotides as they appeared. I don't know if you know this, but every planet rings like a bell of a musical note. And so we harmonize, and we talked about the solfeggio scale, and we were doing the tones and the chants with the musical notes. So it doesn't surprise me that our DNA has a musical scale. Then he gave it to his wife, Midori, who was a professional violinist, to play. We had a professional violinist on last week when we talked about Rudy Steiner. The recordings were said to be astonishing and in some cases indistinguishable from Bach or Mozart. Stunned by the beauty of the music, Dr. Dossey contacted Dr. Ono, who sent him a cassette tapes of his DNA music. Dossey later played the tapes to a group of AIDS patients who attended a healing conference and explained Dr. Dossey in a subsequent interview. This was in the early days of AIDS therapy, and at that time there was not an effective medication, and these AIDS patients were very, very sick. Some came in wheelchairs, and they often had these grotesque images of their body as rotting, diseased, or doomed. I decided to play the DNA music for them and to let them know that there is another way to image your body. Your DNA has not changed just because you have AIDS. At the core, fundamentally, it can seem as something beautiful. And here is a way to image that. I described to them about how the music was made and so on, and then I played it for them. They began to weep. Not just people with AIDS, but the whole audience was in tears. This was the first positive image that many of these people had of their bodies since being diagnosed. After the music was played, there was this silence where only sounds from the audience were sobbing. Then one of them said, "Could you play that again?" So we did. And by golly, the same sort of thing happened all over again, and I was stunned by this more than they, I think, because it was a great example of a lot of things, including the healing power of music. It brought home to me also that we really do have ways now of creating new images of the body, even in the midst of horrible illnesses. So if you search the web for DNA music today, you're going to come up with hundreds of sites that you can download these samples for free. One word of caution though, these downloads may not be of the highest recording quality. To get the full benefit, it is best to buy a CD or download of CD quality or higher version, which you mentioned you sell, right? You have these CDs.
And what's beautiful is we have a track called Love, and it was live orchestra. And before they started, they all had to set intentions of love, and they all played with intentions of love the entire time. So it's just a gorgeous track.
Wow.
I love it.
So that's, I mean, that's right there. You would just enjoy taking that home and putting that, if you listen to things at night as you fall asleep, like a lot of us do, we always put the wave machine on, or biannual beats, or whatever you listen to.
Or when you're stressed.
Or when you're stressed out in the car.
Or anywhere.
Or anywhere, yeah. You may want to get one of these CDs from Brooke and put it in your machine and have it play for you.
It's an actual drive. You just plug it in and it has all the tracks.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So this is a DNA rebuilder. It's almost like it's a mimicking your own harmonious DNA blueprint, so that you can take you back to your original blueprint, and your original blueprint isn't diseased. Your body is healing itself. It knows how to go back to its original blueprint.
All of us owners too feel like they've actually gained strength, the eggs, because we sync them at the big moons, the pink moons, or anything that's, you know, like a extra large full moon that's coming. We sync them all at the same time, so that's been fun too. We feel like they've actually grown strength.
So you're doing full moon and new moon ceremonies. So it's like I am. Okay,
Yep.
okay.
Pretty cool.
All right, so I think we're going to go ahead and close this session out. We want to just thank the Creator for all these gifts of peace and love and gratitude. I'm grateful you're here today, Brooke. Joy, health, as we walk in our ancestors' footprints, saying yes to the angels, yes to the ancestors and guides that leading me forward on to making the right choices, to being present in the moment today, and to my higher self for leading me here to be with all of you, for meeting Brooke and some of the people here that do alternative therapies. May you and your families be blessed today and every day as we close the show with love and peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll see you next time.